Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be answering some more questions that you wanted to know the answers. Joining me today is Robert Clancy. He will be asking the questions that you asked.
So yeah, there's several fan questions that have come in on the YouTube channel, and this is one that I actually had some confusion on. So in Tiger Claws 3, we see your character get killed off, and everybody gets very upset that you are not throughout most of Tiger Claws 3. They think you're killed, you're dead, you're no longer coming back. You were in 1 and 2. What happened there?
Well, what happened is Jalal Mayer, he called me to do Tiger Claws 3, and I was pregnant at that time, and I was like, oh, I have really bad morning sickness, and I don't think I can do a fighting movie. So he wanted me in it because I was in the other sequel. So he said, all right, well, why don't you come in and you just shoot a little bit, and then we'll pretend you died, and then you'll come in the end. So I was really in it. So that is why, because I couldn't do a lot of fighting. But the funny thing is I did fight really hard in the beginning because I thought, you know what, I'm just going to fight really easy and nice and easy, but I can't. The minute he said action, boom, there I was fighting heavy, fighting strong, running to the bathroom because I had morning sickness. But that was the reason why. If I wasn't pregnant, I would have been in it as a partner just like the other two.
Yeah, and actually, when you die, that's a dream sequence, people. That's not actually her dying in there. All right, so there's also a question. There's two different endings to Righting Wrongs, and it's also titled Above the Law, depending on where you are in the world. But there's two different endings, one where you die, actually, in the ending, and one where you don't. What's the backstory on that?
Well, we shot the movie where we both die. That was shot first. And they were trying to do something like kind of like Live and Die in LA, where William Friedkin had the lead get shot in the end and die. So they wanted to shock people like that because it was very unusual for the heroes in a Hong Kong movie to die. Well, it aired and everybody went ballistic. They were screaming, they didn't like it, they were booing. So they called us back many months later to reshoot the ending where we both live. So that's why you might have a copy of Righting Wrongs where we live, or you might have the copy where we die. So there's two different endings, and they're both out there.
All right. Yeah, and the one, yeah, I think you get some kind of corkscrew in your neck, which doesn't look too pretty. We'll drop the photo in there.
Yeah.
But she's alive and well. She's alive and
Well,
well.
it's funny with that picture. I sent it to my mom, and my mom put it in the newspaper. So it was on the big cover of the newspaper with me with a spear like through my throat. I was like, oh my gosh.
You don't want that. No, but you're alive and well, so that's all good. You know what? Many fans have been asking, and they would love to see you in the Expendables. They're almost upset that you weren't in one of the Expendables franchise series there, and also Cobra Kai series. And they'd love to see you in those. What can they do to support you in that? And would you like to be in those?
Absolutely. I would love to work. And I was disappointed too that I wasn't in the Expendables because I was the woman at that time and they had all the guys like, where's the woman? But I don't know. I guess they didn't think about me. So I know there's a campaign on Facebook, put Cynthia Rothrock in the Expendables. But if you see Sylvester Stallone or you have his company address, write to him and tell him that you would like to see me in the Expendables. I was supposed to do a movie with him once, so he knows who I am. So also Cobra Kai, I love that show. I would love to be on it. I know Marty Cove, he's a good friend of mine. So again, if you guys write to the company and say you'd like to see me, maybe they would contact me.
Yeah, and also, Sylvester Stallone had seen you in Millionaires Express fighting Samuel Hahn, and you had done a scene, and he was really impressed. In his stunt choreographers couldn't figure out how you did this 360-degree double kick. And so, if you happen to see that movie, so I think you were on a wire for that, but that is really technically a very difficult move. So, what's the backstory on that?
Yeah, I was on a wire for it. And, sometimes wire work is not that easy because you have to make it look like that you're doing those kicks without being jerked around. You have to do it really smooth. So that's like an art in itself doing that. But yeah, he did. He said, I want to do this kick in my movie. And all the stunt coordinators are like, I don't know how you can do that. And then I said, yeah, well, I was on a wire, but that's how good they are in Hong Kong, is that you can't see the wires at all.
Well, I'm not sure if you could pull that kick off. I think only you could pull that kick off. So a lot of fans have also asked, they love China O'Brien, and there's two movies in that. Will we ever see a China O'Brien 3?
I hope so. I'm working with a director right now that's would love to do it. So he's kind of trying to acquire the rights for it because we don't own it. And interesting enough, I did an interview with Scott Atkins, and Scott said he would love to be in China O'Brien 3. So I told him I'm holding him to it. So if we could get it together, maybe you'll see Scott Atkins in it as well.
All right, Scott, you're going to need to get a cowboy hat for that one, right? I think we'll get him out there. And that was filmed in Utah, wasn't it? Or
yeah, we filmed in Park City, Utah.
Yeah, so we'll get Scott Atkins out there in Park City, Utah, with Cynthia. All right, so a lot of people have asked, like, what are your favorite workout routines? What do you do? I think you do a lot of stretching. I know you've had some videos out. I think one of your passions is also yoga. But what's one of your favorite routines?
I don't know. I do a lot of different things. I vary it up. I don't do the same thing all the time because then it might get a little boring. So I do like hot yoga, but because of COVID, we haven't been inside, so I haven't been doing that. I like to use weights sometimes. Sometimes I'll do cardio classes. I like hiking. I like bicycle riding. I like skiing. I like scuba diving. So basically, my routine is to do as much sport activity as I can.
Well, I think we got some scuba dive gear behind you there. Is that not your?
Get ready to go on a diving trip.
Well, there you go. I see the diving symbol. So there you go. So she is going to go scuba diving.
Oh, in the background in my house, are you?
Yes, I am. So in the let's see. Another question. It came in from Anarchy Television. Is their handle on YouTube? But they asked, what is your opinion of MMA in regards to all aspects of martial arts, including core values?
Well, I like MMA. I like to watch it. I'm a martial artist. To me, it's like the sport aspect because for real life, you're not going to tap out someone, right? And you're not going to do that until they choke out. You're going to try to get them down as quickly as possible. I like it because I like watching fighters, and if they're good, if they're not, and it gets boring. But if they're really good on technique, I like to watch it. And you know what? I think, there's a lot of, controversy about it. It's a hard sport. It's a hard sport to learn. It's a hard sport.
We got it. Yes. And you are.
I would just, it's a hard sport to learn.
Oh my God. Well, we always have fun on these interviews, and I sometimes like.
The fourth interview I did today. But I was laughing because they said Spart instead of sport.
Well, let's not do that.
Like a sport.
It is a hard sport to learn. There you go. Say that 10 times really fast.
Anyway, basically my feeling is, if you're tough enough to go in there and, you get your ass kicked, or you could, potentially like have injuries that, could kill you, that, well, more power to you. Not me, but I will watch.
Well, you might have that secret kick that you can drop in, that scorpion kick on somebody. They won't even see that coming. If they ever get you in the headlock, you can just drop that on them.
That's right. Yeah, get me down in those headlocks. Here you come, foot.
Yeah. So who's one of your favorite fight choreographers to work with in many of the movies that you've done?
I'd have to say my favorite was Yun Kuei from Hong Kong and his team. I think they're incredible geniuses. Also, Sammo Hung's team was really good, too. I liked working with Sammo and Corey Yun.
Yeah, excellent. I was thinking, there's another question that came in from Crew Channel 4 is their handle on YouTube, and there's a scene in Sworn to Justice where you're wearing this short dress and you did a martial arts form, and the question is, was that from your competition days? Did you bring in something and talk to them and say, you know what, I got this cool form I can do, and brought that into the movie?
No, it wasn't my idea. Actually, because I was a world champion in form, undefeated, over 150 times. And then I retired from competition. But because I did that so well, the director, he knew that. He said, I want you to do a little bit of your competition form. And apparently I couldn't do exactly how I did in competition because that wasn't a little dress. It was actually a nightgown that I it's supposed to have had on. So the director thought it would be interesting to add a little bit of sexiness in lingerie with my form, and so that was his idea how it came about.
Well, I don't think anybody's complaining about that. I think that's one of the fan favorite movies, and yeah, you've also I've seen you do fighting in high heels and skirts and jumping off walls. So I guess the nightgown, it's not a fight scene, but you are doing some choreography there. So
It's something different, and anything that's different and new, that's always good. Yeah, I did. I think in oh gosh, I'm trying to think. Lady Reporter. I had a fight in high heels, and that was really tough fighting in the ending and fighting outside. So, uh, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It was challenging, but I really loved the overall come of it because you don't really see anybody fighting in such high heels to that extent of that kind of fighting.
yeah, and you're also very proud of Sworn to Justice for another reason. That's one of where your acting had gone up a few levels, and you had done, obviously prior to that, you were brought in from martial arts, so you really didn't have movie experience and acting experience. But then during this phase of your career, it really you stepped up a notch. So, give a little bit of backstory on why you're so proud of that.
Yeah, well, actually, because it was I had to work at it. I had to learn a lot of dialogue and a lot of technical terms. It was different for me. The character was sexy, In my other ones, I was always like the cop, the girl next door. I had to do love scenes, which was a little awkward for me. I haven't done that before. And the director just wanted a whole new look. They wanted to make sure they were the first time ever in my whole career that they paid attention to my hair, to my makeup, to my clothing. Otherwise, nobody cared. They were just like, here, wear this, whatever. We don't care how it looks. We don't care how the lighting is. But they really wanted to come off in a whole different character from what I have done before. And I also got to work with Academy Award uh, actor Brad Dourif, and to me that was like it was a little intimidating at first because he is so awesome, and I was such a big fan of his. And we had to do this intense scene together. And I remember after we did it, he came and gave me a kiss on the cheek, and he said that was an Oscar performance. Although it was not an Oscar performance, but he did make me feel good, and it was an experience I'll always remember. As working against the great Brad Dourif.
Yeah, there was like the court scene with him, and then I think you were in an interrogation room, sort of, or in the prison, and
Yeah.
you had to meet up with him, and yeah, it got pretty emotional, and there were yeah, it's really
Yeah, that
pretty
was the
intense scene.
scene. Yeah, and we would rehearse it. We were rehearsing it in the dressing room, and he'd start crying in the dressing room, and I'd think, "Oh my God, don't you save those tears for when we're on screen?" And he just could just pour it out whenever, like not how many times didn't matter. And I was like, "Wow, that's truly a good actor," because I could cry on screen, but maybe two times, and there's no more water left.
Yeah. So
Let's drink.
yeah, you got to drink a lot of water to get those tears up. I think most people are getting the tears after you hit them. That's where the tears come from. So there was another question that came in. It was, will you ever work with Donnie Yen, and would you like to work with him in a movie?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Donnie's a friend of mine. Haven't seen him in a long time, but I remember him when he was a little because when I was younger, his mom was she was like my hero because she was one of the few women I've ever seen in martial arts, and she was doing wushu. Well, it sort of looked like wushu to me. And I remember I bought a book that she did, and I would study that book like crazy. And I told him, I said, Your mom was my influence. I wanted to be your mother, not
Wow.
be his mother, but I wanted to be like her. So I would love to work with Donnie. He's a great guy.
Excellent. And last question is, you have, it was a fan, let's see, 88 miles per hour is the handle on YouTube, said, I'd love to hear about your experience working on your first film in Hong Kong, which is Yes, Madam. And they were particularly impressed with the fight sequences of you and Michelle Yeoh in fighting with Dick Wei, but you had some very complex and technical moves in that. And, maybe give a little bit about how long did it take to film some of those scenes?
Yeah, Yes, Madam was 7.5 months shoot. Just the ending fight scene was 1 month only. And uh, it was both one of our first big fighting films like that. So we weren't used to this type of action, like getting hit. So we were bruised immensely. Like there were scenes where, we could actually, there was a whole scene in Yes Madam that was cut out because every time we would fight, we'd be going, ow, like our face would be, because our arms were so bruised. Then we got clothing to wear, pads underneath it. But it was tough. And I think the scenes were so strong, so complicated, and we kept each other going. Like I would do something and she'd go, oh, well, yeah, if Cynthia could do that, I could do this one. And I'm like, oh, if she could do that, I could do this one. So we were kind of a support team for each other, you know, just seeing like who could do like the craziest stunts and not get hurt. And it was an awesome experience, you know, but we've had many multiple bruises from that film.
Yeah, well, and that concludes the questions for this batch of the Q&A. Just keep them coming. So if you have questions, just post them in. We do look at and review these your comments on the YouTube channel. And as always, Cynthia, it's such a pleasure to have you on here. Thank you for your contributions to martial arts, to the movie industry, to all the stuff that you've done to move that whole genre forward, but also for women in martial arts and film.
Yeah, well, thank you, Robert, for being the moderator of these videos. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your support. And keep asking the questions. And you keep asking, I will keep answering. So stay safe and hope to see you soon. Hi, this is Cynthia Rothrock. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And if you like the videos, please put a like on it and refer it to your friends.